Now for the latest on the Trump administration's global tariff fights and much more, we're joined by former New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. Governor, let's talk through what we know at the moment. President Trump told us yesterday that he could be raising tariffs significantly on India as soon as today.
I think that's scaring everybody. The issue right now is all the uncertainty here is driving supply chain issues. That's what I hear all over the place.
You hear that from who? From businesses?
From businesses,
yeah.
Right? They know tariffs are coming, but the uncertainty of it, they still rely on a lot and will until there's kind of some sort of equilibrium that hits probably well into next year or even the year after to find a stabilization point so they know what they're buying from who at what cost to make sure that they can match their price and control their costs. But we're going to see inflation here. I mean, not a huge spike, but you're going to see a half a point, 0.6, 0.7 over the next year or two driven off of this. It's not going to be earth-shattering. There's not going to be a recession. But the uncertainty has to be paid ultimately.
But that's not inflation. That's a cost increase because the year after it would be the same.
Sure.
So that's not the second.
That's
not the second derivative. That's not. You don't add 3% on this year and then that results in 3% in it necessarily.
Right. And it will be slow. It will be soft, and it will be mostly, I think, in some of the concrete, steel, things of that nature.
Why do you think we haven't seen it to this point?
Because I was touring the warehouses in Texas about 3 or 4 months ago. Everyone has stockpiled. They've simply stockpiled, and they're finally kind of getting through those giant reserves. Now they're kind of figuring out where it goes. There's some stabilization in certain countries. I just think that the India one scares folks the most. I can't tell you why. I'm not a manufacturer, but that's the one I hear the biggest concern about because they're our ally. This should be the easy one. India is going to be the world player, right? They're going to have far and away the largest population in terms of bodies. You have so many folks that are already outsourcing to India right now.
China's the second largest economy, though.
It is, and that's why now remember China's investing in their technology, weaponization, and infrastructure because they're going to have a population crash in the next decade or so. So you kind of have an opposite effect there. But having the largest country in terms of manpower as a strong U.S. ally in that part of the world. You're going to deal with the terrorists, but you don't want to upset that apple cart.
It's been interesting to watch. At this point, how much is being eaten by over there? The way
absolutely,
and it hurts bad. I mean, do you see what happened to Switzerland? They saw what was going to happen. They're like, whoa.
And they panicked.
Swiss president got on a plane and came here to Washington without.
How about the EU? The EU, France and Germany, they almost lost their.
Yeah. And I think those are really, really solid deals. I think we're going to get great deals out of this, but it's that uncertainty that's disruptive.
We are in a position to reverse some of the inequities of the past 5 decades.
And we are the United States of America.
That's right.
We are the world driver.
And anyone who says we're not,
knows it.
they're going to hold. And I even wonder about China. And
the other thing I'll say is I've talked to some leaders across the seas. They want us to be strong. They know a weak America is a problem for everybody, a weak U.S. dollar. And we all know that some of these funds right down the street here are hedging away from the U.S. dollar. That's a scary thing, not just for us, but for the rest of the world. So they want this to find a happy medium, if you will. I think we're getting there. We're getting there faster than anybody thought.
I mean, could you believe the EU said, we're going to delay our, we know you're doing it to us, but we're still going to delay ours. Hopefully we can get something better. And she actually said in doing the deal, I'm sorry, this is the best I could get to try to.
So they are trying.
They're trying, but they're scared.
And of course they're scared.
And it seems like there is still a difference of opinion as to what's already been agreed to in some of these. The president on yesterday, and he said, look, they're going to give me $650 billion, and I can do whatever I want with that. The Europeans say, no, that's private money that's going to be put into this.
But then he said, OK, then the tariffs go back on.
And then Japan says that this is a loan.
And as we all know,
that's not the case.
These deals really actually take a year to actually get into paper and get into writing. And then I'm going to throw out the other one.
So if it takes a year to figure out what the final tariff is, what does that mean for business?
That means long-term uncertainty. That's why I think you're going to have potential, what we call cost increases, inflationary and supply chain problems well into next year, if not into 27.
And you don't think it'll cause a recession?
No, I don't. It'll be a softening. This won't cause a recession. There'll be a bit of a softening. Also, watch the unemployment numbers this fall. This is when all the federal workers are going to actually hit the unemployment rolls, potentially, hundreds of thousands of them, because they got to keep their jobs until September, right? All the ones that were initially fired. And I believe, I haven't seen the latest numbers, the number of people leaving the federal government is much faster than what they thought. In March, April, May, it was one number. In June and July, you still saw a huge exodus out of the federal government. Those numbers won't become reality until later. Voluntary departures. And then here's the big curveball: the lawsuit. This is going to go to the tariffs are going to go to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And there is a real 50-50 on whether the process they used on the emergency acts on the tariffs was legal or not. And that's going to be, so that throws a whole level of uncertainty in there.
But what about the deals that are already done? They're not going to go and say and renege on those.
Who knows? It's Washington, D.C. I have no idea whether they would actually go back on it.
But also, legal experts say even if the Supreme Court did say that you couldn't do that, he's got all kinds of other avenues.
Well, there's still deals to be had.
There's wide leeway. No, in what you're able to do.
People who didn't.
And there's wide leeway other than the emergency for the chief executive of the country.
Well, the best way is Congress. Maybe Congress should do their job and back the play.
Don't count on that. Maybe after,
how unique.
Maybe after they get 5 more seats in the House.
Oh, that's a mess for everybody. America doesn't like it.
You ever look at Illinois? You ever look at the state map of Illinois? It's a mess.
Oh, gerrymandering's real.
Stinks no matter who does it.
Yeah, but you don't brag about
it. Some states have 40 Democrats and 2 Republicans.
That's right.
And half of the population or 40% is Republican.
I'm the only governor that never signed a redistricting bill, and we're doing pretty good in New Hampshire.
You got crappy maple syrup, though.
Oh, them's fighting words.
We go to commercial.
Governor, we're going to commercial break. That's right.
Fighting words. I'm kidding.
Fighting words.
I'm kidding.
Squawk Box will be right back. Go ahead, hit him.